Welcome in, everybody, to Streams of Collective Consciousness. I'm Ellie Rose, and today we are talking about sustainable fashion, environmentalism, and pop culture. So there is a lot of stuff happening, and I try to compile it in this like Canva slideshow thingamajig. It seems very official. It looks very official, but I do have ADHD, so I try to organize my thoughts here. So if you want to look at the news that I've compiled together for the week, this will always be in my description. It's a free public link to this very Canva deck. So if you ever just want to like skip through, get like the main topics, feel free. I really don't have the goal of having people stay here the entire live stream. Like, people come and go. So if you just want like to stay informed, if you want to like learn about what's going on in sustainable fashion, keep stuff in the environment, like cool pop culture stuff, like feel free to like look at this whenever. Especially if you leave early or you come late, like this is always a great resource. And it keeps me on track, which I love. It's a win-win-win. And you can also follow me on all the social medias here. I actually have 2 Twitch channels, but my main one is the Ellie Rose HQ one. The Sustainable Mod Twitch channel will be for the future. I really hope to use it for like more official sort of content. Let's say I have my own thrift store. That's like where that stuff would go, because I do want to have my own thrift store in the future. But for now, we're going to keep that there. But I have the username. That's mine. No one will ever take that away. And if you know me, I use Ellie Rose for a lot of my platforms, but Sustainable Mode is also like my brand, you can say, my baby. But I want to be known for Ellie Rose as well. So this is a Sustainable Mode production, and yes, on Depop, Facebook, Twitter, or X, whatever the fuck you want to call it, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube, obviously, if you're watching on YouTube. I should include YouTube on here. I'll do that. Because some people are watching on Twitch. But to get into the stream today, I do want to lay out the schedule that I've come up with. I've been struggling with my schedule for such a long time, and I think I finally have come to a good conclusion of what will work for me right now, but all of this may change because I just got a call back from NASCAR, which is bringing a speedway show back into my city in Chicago, and they were like clarifying if I was free or not, like what my schedule was like after I had the first initial interview last week. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get the job. So this may change next week if I get the job, but I still don't know. Hello, Marissa. But for now, this is what my schedule for live streaming is. I'm so sorry if you have ever tuned in and have been confused about the times. I have been very inconsistent for the last 7 months. I know, because I've been tracking it myself. Like every month I'm like, freaks of nature. Like I have messed up my schedule all over again, and I have not been able to like get it down. So I wish this to be my schedule. I want this to be my schedule after trials and tribulations. I've settled into this. So fashion news, I love when it's on Tuesdays from 5 to 7. So I hope that in the power of everything that exists, I can remain consistent on Tuesdays for fashion news from 5 to 7. Gaming, I do that at night. I've figured out that 8:30 is better than 9:30 for me, so I'll be jumping on a bit early. And the reason for this is because I usually am ready to go by 8:30, so starting at 9:30 is just, it feels like a wasted an hour just waiting. Like yesterday, for example, I was just like sitting on my couch. I'm like, oh, it's time for me to go live, but it's still 8:30, but yeah. I don't know why I initially thought 9:30 was a good idea. I guess it was because I wanted more free time in my evening, but when I have something to do, I just want to do it. Like, I just want to accomplish it already. And then gaming, also Wednesdays, 8:30 to 11:30 p.m. Tomorrow I have a special stream where I work on my disco dress that I've been working on for like the past 4 months. That's how chaotic my life has been, that it's taken me 4 months to do like one simple DIY project. But tomorrow I'll be live at 5, but usually I just do a gaming stream in the night. And then Friday, 10:30 p.m. to 11:30, because I'm usually really tired. Sometimes I go until 12:30, but by 11:30 I'm starting to get tired. And this one's just fun. It really does de-stress me because I work at a gym as a receptionist on Fridays, and I get out at 9 after I eat. I'm like, oh my god, I hate my life. Like, I hate being a receptionist. So gaming kind of like refreshes me. But all of this, again, is contingent on the job that I apply to. So NASCAR is having a race, like I said, and they do need someone to help with logistics, with office work and stuff like that. They're not paying a lot, which is the bad thing. Like, I think they're only going to pay me like $17 an hour, which is crazy. And it's like a coordinator role for a major event. And it's only part-time. So I don't get benefits. It's seasonal. It ends in July, and then it's over. So technically it'd be like 6 months of employment. If I start tomorrow, let's say it's the last week of January, then we have February, March, April, May, June, July. So yeah, 6 months of employment that I would get, and then it's like done for. So I'll figure out a new schedule if I do get the job. Most likely I would be streaming after work. So it's like a typical 9 to 5, but I get an unpaid hour, which is what ends up making it a part-time. Wait, what did I say? It's a 9 to 5, but a 1 hour unpaid lunch break. That's what I meant to say. But 7 hours times 5 days is like 35 hours. It's still kind of like full-time, but I guess they consider it part-time or something. So most likely, yeah, I'll be streaming like at 6 or 6:30 for fashion news on Tuesdays, and then like gaming I think would remain in the evenings. But I think I would stream less. But I'll see. I'm getting ahead of myself because they haven't even like told me if I got the job. But they did call me today, and I was like, oh yes, I'm free whenever. Please exploit me. Please exploit me. But to get into the stream, I do want to say that if you ever have any interesting news, whether around sustainable fashion, environmentalism, pop culture, send it in this form. I see what chat is chatting about, obviously, but if you want me to like take your news bits or like your suggestions a bit more seriously, fill out this form and I will definitely consider covering it on the stream. I love everyone's input. And then for personal news, I already got into this a bit, but again, I have a possible job prospect. Again, it's only $17 an hour. I don't know how I'm gonna survive. It's literally like maybe $1,700 that I'll earn after taxes a month. It's currently more than what I'm making right now in my 2 part-time jobs as a gym receptionist and working in retail. But it's something, and I'm not ashamed about the jobs that I take on. I don't care if people know that I'm a receptionist. I don't care if I work in retail, even though I have 2 degrees. Like, that doesn't really matter. What I matter is like personal fulfillment. And the only reason I'm gravitating towards a NASCAR job is because it has more hours, and it would help me avoid customer service like situations, because as a receptionist you just kind of face whatever scenario comes at you. For example, boomers at gyms just love to like yell at you and blame you for stuff, and they've definitely given me a lot of anxiety attacks and made me cry in the bathroom. So I prefer to have an office role than continuing to be a receptionist for a gym that caters to boomers. My eye twitched just thinking about sitting in that receptionist job at the gym. So hopefully the NASCAR job gives me a bit more stability, especially because I don't have savings to go all in on my passion projects. Like, I wish I could do live streaming full time. Like, I wish I could do YouTube part time, because I prefer live streaming. I prefer live streaming than YouTube because of the flexibility, and it caters a bit more to like my straightforward nature of like talking about things versus like trying to create a story on YouTube. Like, I don't know how to create a story in a YouTube video. Like, I've always been very honest. So I like chatting. So live streaming is just like more for me than like YouTube videos, but I still love YouTube. Like, it's my baby. And it's gonna take me years to like understand how to do YouTube videos. So that's like a passion project alongside live streaming. And I want to have my own thrift store. So like all of that requires money, savings, investments, and takes time. So I'm not in a position to tell myself that I can't have a job right now. Like, I need a job, as everyone kind of does in capitalism. It just sucks. It really does suck. I wish I didn't have to take on a different job. I wish I could dedicate myself to my passions all the time, but life doesn't work out that way. Life is quite unfair a lot of the times. For those that are BIPOC and low income, especially in frontline cities where there's only warehouse jobs available. And when I started live streaming, I was always really pissed. I was pissed about the circumstances that were given to me. My background is that I'm a community organizer, and yet I never had a really paid gig in that. I only had stipends. The max I received in community organizing was like, what was it, $500 a month or something? No, $800 a month. Who's going to survive off of $800 a month? So I dedicated 7 years to community organizing, and the most I got from that was $800 a month. So I'm not in a position to really say no to a good job right now, especially one that will build up my resume, one that will give me entry into more coordinator jobs after not having official jobs in, again, 7 years. So I feel like I'm on the brink of like turning like my life around, having a career change, focusing more on like what brings me joy. Is just readjusting my schedule for streaming, for YouTube content creation, for planning on my thrift store, which starts out with me reselling stuff online because I'm nowhere close on having a physical store right now. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now in my life. I feel like I'm a lot more happier as a person because of my focus on my passions, like live streaming. I started this like a year ago. And I'm so happy that I started a year ago. Let me expand myself a bit more. I'm not gonna like just show myself on camera, because if I just go like this, it's just me and a void of white, and that's kind of boring. The lighting is a bit off, isn't it? Or is it just my phone? But yeah, I feel a lot more happier. The lighting is a bit off, but it's fine. But I feel a lot more happier focusing on live streaming and content creation. I've been doing it for a year now, and it's been such an amazing experience. I feel a lot happier, a lot more content with life, and I feel like I'm doing something that I've always wanted to do. So yeah, I'm really, really, really happy to be here, and I know I'll grow slowly and steadily. I'm not in a rush. Oddly enough, I'm not in a rush. And honestly, my real goal in life with streaming is like to reach 100 viewers consistently. Like, I would be so amazed if there was like 100 people showing up to my streams every time I streamed. And that's like where I would want to cap it. Like, I wouldn't want more than 100. After 100, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna kill myself every time I get on here. Like, it would cause me an anxiety attack if more than 100 people were here. Like, if you think about 100 people watching you give a speech, you're already shitting your pants. So if you have more than 100, it's like you're pushing your buttons. Like, you're pushing the limits here. So 100 is a lot for me. And just even having like 2 or 3 people like come in for me right now is like a lot. And a secret that I've had is that I never look at who's watching. I don't look at the numbers. I just barely glance at the chat. And every time someone chats, I get like a surge of anxiety because I'm like trying to follow my thoughts and then someone else is contributing. So it's kind of like I need to focus, and it's like a struggle with everything. So yes, if I have like 10 people watching, that's a lot for me. So my goal of like 100 people watching me, I wish that only happens in like a year or two. So I'm not in a rush for my own sake and for all the things that I'm doing, because if there's too much pressure on things, I crumble. And I've learned that in the past. Like in community organizing, it's very like fast paced, it's ambitious. And I've crumbled every single time that I've been in spaces because there's not enough time to think, to just like to be calm, to find peace, I guess. And so when things are slow and steady and like I can process what's going on, I continue doing it. I'm like a turtle. That's what I'm saying. I'm a turtle. Um, but yeah, I love axolotls. To finish off my personal updates, I love axolotls. I just have made new purple axolotl emotes for my Twitch channel. So if you're ever on Twitch, you can comment a axolotl like welcome emote. Emote is like a little figure that you can like put in the chat to say hello. And then there's like sub only axolotls, but I want more like follower emotes because I only have one. So I need to buy more emotes because I don't know how to make them. And I bought the purple ones on accident. I actually wanted the pink ones, but I was distracted. Like a lot of people don't realize I actually do have ADHD. It's just I've been masking it my entire life. All my life I've been incredibly distracted as a person, but the one thing that has saved my butt so many times has been my planner. Like when I was in high school, my planner was my Bible. When I was in college, I had the biggest planner in my life that everyone bullied me for. It like people just didn't believe why I had such a huge planner. But I constantly just wrote in it again and again and again to do one task. It took me like 10 times. Sometimes it took me 10 times to write it in my planner before I actually did it. Minimum was 3. On a good planning day or planning week, if I only wrote it down 3 times in my planner, that was a win. So I have always needed to constantly remind myself to do the same thing over and over and over again until I convince myself to do it. Because my brain is that distracted that I need a lot of time to convince myself to do it. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone else, but my brain just doesn't focus on one thing. It always just goes bing, 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 bing. And I have learned to remind myself to do the things I need to do because I consistently don't do what I need to do because my brain is everywhere. So I know how to work with my brain basically. But yeah, I've always gotten distracted. I've always told people I have a lot of tabs in my brain. Every time I was in community organizing meetings and they would give me like something to present or talk about, whenever I got overwhelmed or had a lot of information in my head, I always said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I just have too many tabs open in my brain. Just give me a second. And they would just like look at me waiting for me to like compose myself. And I would always apologize, which is a bad trait. But I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, it's just, there's so many things to cover. Give me a second. Because like all the tabs just were like in my head. I don't know how to explain it. It was just like there. And I couldn't like sort them out in time. And then when I started talking, especially under pressure, like one sentence would mix with the next sentence because I'm always thinking ahead. And I can't catch up, and then things get mixed around, so I'm saying like 2 sentences together, and then I'm jumping from one topic to another, and people think I'm like just yapping, but I'm not trying to yap. There's just things that I've kind of like jumped to, and I just have like a friendly personality that people kind of accept it sometimes, but I kind of go in circles to get to a point, and it doesn't go well in interviews. That's why I have to practice my interviews like 100 times beforehand and like practice exactly what I'm going to say because I can go on a million tangents. I guess it works out for streaming because it's good to go on tangents, I guess, to like have people learn, I don't know, through different examples and situations. Like this whole personal update thing was a whole tangent for me. I don't even know why I'm talking about this, but Marissa says it very relatable. But I didn't know what that was. Like, I have just a tendency to, like, go really fast in my head, and then my mouth doesn't catch up, and then There isn't a lot of like awareness or education and awareness of this in like frontline communities. Like there isn't like any, I don't know, teachers that ever catered to this or ever talked about it in public school systems. My family doesn't really know that I have this, so they just kind of like accept it as a personality trait, which I'm grateful for, because they're not like, you're an ADHD girl, you know, like they're not diagnosing me. Like one time I was with a activist space and they kept telling me I was full of problems and they were diagnosing me. And I got mad. I'm like, can y'all stop diagnosing me? I don't know what that dude was on. He just wanted to diagnose any female, especially the Latinas. I think he had something against me. I don't know. I didn't even know him. I don't. If you don't know someone, please don't diagnose them. You know, it's really hard to like admit your flaws, or I guess your strengths and weaknesses. However you want to like take neurodivergence and what you have going on, but it's a very vulnerable thing to tell people that you struggle in a certain way with coping. And just for me, like live streaming has been such an amazing way to connect with people, because I can take my time to process, to like explain, to do things my way versus someone else getting irritated or just staring at me if I have like too many tabs open and get impatient, because people would always get impatient with me. Or they would never select me for like professional like meetings to represent like the group, because they knew I would just yap and yap and yap and yap about the most random things because I just got nervous. I would get nervous. So yeah, it's nice that I can choose myself to be myself in this space versus waiting, hopefully, for someone to choose me. So hopefully I get chosen for the job. That's always the goal. Hopefully I build up my savings so by the summer I can have my own studio, which is my goal for the New Year's, to have my own studio. I realized I didn't really talk about my New Year's resolutions. But like the main New Year's resolution I have for 2026 is to have my own studio apartment. The rent in my home city is really cheap. It would be like $1,000 for a studio. So I think that's actually a really realistic goal if I save up for the 6 months if I do get this job. If I don't get the job, I'll find another job and I'll continue to apply to jobs until I get a job to save up to have a studio. Like, end of story. Like, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna work my ass off and I'm gonna like have my own space. But yeah, that's really the only thing I want. Like, I want my own space. Even if it's a small little space, I just want my space. I don't want to live with roommates. I don't want to deal with drama. People in their 20s are just full of BS sometimes, and they just try to create problems that don't need to be there for whatever reason. Like, I don't cater to drama. I don't really like when people stir up the pot for no reason. Like, I always clean up after myself, so if I have to clean up after someone else, it just kind of irritates me. Like, I'm not a mom, and I've grown used to being a mom when I have roommates, and I don't want to be that anymore. I don't want to be the mom of the house. Just because I come off very responsible doesn't mean I have to be responsible of your BS. So I've had a lot of bad experiences with roommates. No one has ever really shown respect or cleanliness or maturity in all the scenarios I've lived with. And to be fair, the people that I have lived with have been way younger than me. So one of my most recent roommates, she was like, what was it, 22 or 23 when I was like 25, 26. So I was like 4 years older than her. So I guess in a lot of ways, like, I had a bit more maturity because of my age. And then some other roommates, they were in college still when I was like 25. So you're dealing with a 20-year-old when you're 25. Like I get it. Like, they see you maybe as like a leader or like a mentor or like the one that should be in charge, but that doesn't excuse their behavior. There was another person. She was 21. She was a college dropout, and she kept getting in my business because she had too much free time. Another one was also 21 when I was 24. So I've always been the oldest person in my roommate situation. So I guess I need someone that's either my age if I am to have a good experience, but I don't, I don't, I don't need that in my life. I don't need it. I don't need it. Anyways, I think I've spent a lot of personal time on personal updates. So we're going to go into the news, but yes, to finalize the yapping session, hopefully I get the job. Hopefully I can save up to get my apartment. I'll continue to do live streaming, YouTube stuff, all the things. It's just I have to wait to see what happens with this, with the scheduling for work and stuff, to be consistent a bit better for everyone. And another thing that I've seen lately on TikTok, though, to get into news, is this 365 button trend. I spend a lot of time on TikTok at night, which is a bad trait, and it's been everywhere. This trend has been everywhere, and everyone is just like having fun with it, because the person that said they were going to do the 365 buttons trend didn't want to explain how they were going to participate, and kept like making comments, please don't ask me how I'm going to participate, please, like, it's not that serious how I'm going to participate. So that's kind of been like an internal joke that's made this TikTok meme viral, because like one person refused to explain how she was going to use her 365 buttons. So like the trend itself has become a joke, but then it's become a bit more serious, and I guess a little bit more intellectual, because wait, let me zoom out with my, it's become a little bit more serious because it kind of alludes to like every day means something, and now a day represents a button. So if you have 365 buttons, how does that represent your life? Like, what are you going to do every day with that button? You know what I mean? And are you going to decorate it on a hat? Are you going to make a necklace? Like, it just kind of emphasizes that every life is important and what you create is impactful in some sense. But let's go to the article. Honestly, I feel like this is like philosophizing, like common sense. Like, we all know we live every day. Every day we're alive, if we're alive. What we do with it is important. I think it's just really easy to think we're powerless in midst of everything. That maybe like having something physical / material kind of concretes it a bit more and reminds us that, yeah, like we live every day and we should be counting it as important. But it's funny because like we need something material to remind ourselves of how important our life is. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's read the article. It's by Forbes. It starts off saying, ever get tired of explaining yourself? No. People hate me for it, actually. So the first big meme of 2026 is here to remind you that you don't always have to. Known as 365 buttons, the meme has given rise to a catchphrase that some social media users are adopting as an empowering life philosophy for the new year. Very interesting. So it says, hey, so it actually only has to make sense to me for me to do it, and I don't feel like explaining it to anyone else. The motto goes, here, here. So this is what I was explaining, that this girl that said, hey, so actually it only has to make sense to me, and I don't feel like explaining it to anyone else, is the girl that kind of like shoved it, I guess, in everyone's face that she wasn't going to explain. Because everyone was asking her questions of like, how are you going to do this? And she just didn't care to explain whatsoever. So the 365 buttons meme. But let's back up. The whole 365 buttons craze started with a cryptic comment a TikTok user named Tamara left on another user's video that was posted late last month and focused on starting the new year with a rebrand. I have been seeing that. There's this huge trend too on TikTok where it's like rebrand your life, and it's like, what are you rebranding? How are you going to rebrand overnight? I think that's just an excuse to go shop. To recreate yourself into something, like change your aesthetic or get new products, or I don't know what a rebrand means for people nowadays, but I'm sure it meant purchasing more stuff and throwing away the stuff that you have. So, yeah. Someone says, I'm getting 365 buttons, one for each day, because I want to do more stuff and I'm scared of time. So I want to become more conscious of it, Tamara wrote, posting it under the handle, Fly Like a Dove. The remark appeared to reference Tamara's plan to mark the passage of time in the coming year with physical tokens, but it was just vague enough to spark confusion and curiosity. Asked one TikTok user, what is 365 buttons? Good question. And then Tamara, with her sassiness, said, just to see how quick days pass and to remind myself that time passes and I just have fun and to do a lot of stuff. But that only led to more queries. Yes, queen, what do you mean? What do you mean buttons? Like what to wear? That's when Tamara declined to get into more detail in her boundary setting remark that the 365 buttons only need to make sense to her, which took on a life on its own. I mean, it would have been helpful if she had explained what she meant, but I guess she did not give any fucks to explain and just got annoyed everyone was asking. I mean, it is kind of like up to you how you interpret time in conjunction with materiality. Like, if you're going to represent a day with a button, it's up to your imagination. Like, there's no rules, really, if no one is, like, watching you or you don't need to be perceived in the journey. Like, you can just take it on however, you know? Like, it's not a huge deal. So, I wonder why she commented the way that she did. I wonder why Tamara didn't incline herself to be helpful, because that's how it comes off to me. Like, if someone asked me, like, oh, like, what do you mean? Like, why are you doing this? I would explain. I love to explain. That's just who I am. But, like, Tamara shut it down. And that's kind of, like, what caught people's attention. I feel like it went so viral because typically people are willing to help or, like, explain their theories of crafting and goals and stuff, you know, but she was like clearly not willing to like explain anything, and that's up to her, you know, that's up to her. But I think, yeah, the reason why it went so viral is because she just really wasn't willing to help or like expand on it, and it became a joke versus people becoming offended that she didn't want to like further explain or help, you know. Yes, so the words now adorn numerous standalone posts and have even made their way into original songs, such as the Twingy Tomorrow's Buttons song. They made a song? I feel like I don't want to sound mean when I say this, but sometimes a lot of people with privilege and from a certain how do I say this? Sometimes people have weird humor because they're bored. And I think this was something that people could catch on to, given their humor and their privilege and their lot, because they have a lot of time on their hands. I don't see Mexicans doing this button song. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna create stereotypes, but my golly. Bluegrass / folk band is all I need to know. Okay. Alright. I'm not going to be biased here, though. I'm just going to continue reading. I'm just going to be a little good girl and not talk about class or privilege. So, someone else says, I'm glad people seem to be enjoying what's on the surface, which is silly. And it's a silly song about buttons, but I guess it's really about doing what you want and not needing to justify it to anyone else. I mean, that's a good point. She didn't need to justify, but she could have explained. Okay, that's the song. I kind of don't like folk music, so I'm going to move on. Okay. And Tamara didn't end up responding for a request for comment on what it feels like to have been thrust into sudden TikTok fame. The 365 button phenomenon is an example of how quickly a nonsensical social media phrase or action can capture the internet's imagination and become its own shared online language. TikToks are now reinterpreting the 365 button trend Some are posting their own videos about it. And I kind of like this, you know, I feel like it kind of like normalizes crafting and normalizes like creativity and imagination. Like, this is not inherently bad. It's just, it came out of a joke. And someone's just like not willing to explain herself. But I guess I would hope that people are interested in this for a more intrinsic reason. Like, I wish that people just kind of like thought life was meaningful just for itself. Like, I don't know, it feels weird that you find life meaningful because you saw a TikTok girl not want to justify herself. Does that make sense? Like, why did it take a joke from TikTok to like want to represent your life so that you can be more intentional and conscientious about it? Because if you're making that button represent something, shouldn't it be a bit more meaningful than just like a joke? I don't know. I guess I see life a bit more seriously. For me, this wasn't enough for me to be like, oh, a button is going to represent a day for me. But I do want to do a live stream about this, about covering like a pant or a top with 365 buttons. I think it'd be a cool craft idea, but I personally don't see myself wanting to represent one day of my life as a button. I would choose like a butterfly or something. I don't know. Not a button for me. Maybe something else. But you can always use a button to represent a day. It's up to you, I guess. 365 buttons is my religion? What? 365 buttons is my religion. Should we listen to this one? Oh, wait. How do you backtrack it? Girl, you're preaching and I can't backtrack your video. Okay, let me... Okay. Here and then here.
She said it don't really matter what y'all think. I'm the only one that gotta understand it because I'm the one that's gonna do it, and I don't feel like explaining it to y'all. So I'm not gonna explain it to y'all. I don't know what she had planned to do with those buttons, but sis just set my boundaries for the rest of the year.
I don't think it's a boundary. It's just she didn't really want to explain. Oh my goodness. It's not that deep. I feel like it's not that deep. I don't know. I feel like people are bored. Now, I do believe boundaries are important. Don't get me wrong. But she could have explained. Like, why not explain? I'm just curious why not. She's not gonna answer though. Like, obviously she's not gonna like go into detail, but personally I don't see life I don't know, I'm not as silly to be like, yes, the buttons are my life. I'm not that silly. I can have fun, but the whole thing kind of irks me, to be totally honest. Like, it kind of irks me. Like, yeah, it's promoting crafting, but the backstory just kind of weirds me out a bit. I guess I just don't get it. The humor and me just are not equating. I'm trying to like find the logical reason why it works.
I'm going to explain why so many people are talking about 365 buttons for 2026, but with the caveat that if you watch this video, you must leave the original button person alone. The buttons were clearly for her and not for the internet, as will become apparent as you watch this video. So what happened? This creator, Abby, posted a video about her 2026 rebrand. And in the comments section of this video, a user called Tamara, or perhaps Tamara, I'm sorry, I don't know, she said, I'm getting 365 buttons, one for each day, because I want to do more stuff and I'm scared of time, so I want to be more conscious of it. And people are like, what is 365 buttons? And she's like, one for every day. And people love it, but they are confused and they want her to explain further. So they're like, yes, queen, but what do you mean buttons? Like, to wear? Just to have, to see how quick days pass and to remind myself that time passes and just have fun and to do a lot of stuff. What are you doing with the buttons every day is what they're asking. Are you putting them in a jar? Are you wearing them? Hey, so it actually only has to make sense to me for me to do it, and I don't feel like explaining it to anybody else. Okay. I gotta admit, I love Tamara. Look, she didn't make a video about this. She just left a comment on somebody else's video, and all these people are like, explain these 365 buttons to me. And she's like, I don't feel like doing that, so no. Oh my god, I love her. People are just asking what you plan on doing, like literally and physically with the buttons, and are probably just trying to get ideas to help themselves. I don't know and I don't have to know, okay? I just want to carry around a button every day. Let her carry around her daily button. All of these comments have since been deleted, but it didn't stop the internet from going absolutely feral for 365 buttons. This woman wrote a song about 365 buttons. People are tracking their own progress.
See, the thing is, people want to understand. It's just, if you don't explain it, then it kind of leaves people with more questions and maybe discourages them from crafting or like taking that intentionality of like, okay, I want this day to be fun or I want it to be meaningful. So to not explain just feels like a loss to help others. I think that's why it irks me now that I think about it. Why not help people? Like, I don't get it.
Even the Philadelphia Eagles got involved and showed their 365 buttons. Because of these comments alone, Tamara ended up with around 50,000 followers, and a bunch of people are commenting on her only 2 videos to tell her they love the buttons, I'm a big fan of your work. She's like, girl, what work? Please do a button series. No. Neither of the videos on her page have anything to do with buttons. She is not mentioning buttons at all whatsoever. This video is about things she does to fill up her cup. People are like, do buttons fill up her cup? No. People out there every day begging for this type of attention, and this queen is just like, no, I just never care. I don't get a hit off of social media clout. And I actually fully agree with this comment down here that says, Tamara said no, and she's giving a lesson in boundaries. I love it. Have a fantastic.
But didn't she post that online? She posted the initial post, didn't she? Why would she comment too if she didn't want to engage with social media? She didn't want the social media cloud, but was explaining that she was going to do the trend or like do what she wanted to do with the buttons. But then when people are interested, she says no. I really don't get it. I don't know. I don't get it.
Fantastic 2026. Yes. Just because you randomly say in a comment section that you're going to make a button series doesn't actually mean that you have to do that. No is truly a complete sentence, even if previously you said yes. And the thing is, she's not just...
That's a good point, though. What do the comments say? She's an icon. She did explain, but a lot of people didn't get it. Well, yeah. Well, she's going to use a button for a day. There's, I guess, not much there if you want to look at it that way, yeah. I think people just wanted them to get an example or a deeper meaning. Someone else says, Tamara helped me realize how short a year is. It is 365 days represented by random buttons that fills up a small 11-ounce jar. Oh, that is a small jar. Oh, okay. That kind of does help visualize it. I still don't like buttons. Okay, let's see. I'll write tomorrow. Tomorrow? No, what is... I can't see the words. In tomorrow we trust. Tamara said, mind your business. Well, that's a trend that was happening at the beginning of January. It took me quite a while to cover. I was kind of grappling whether I wanted to cover it or not, but I think it was just a nice moment to see that there was a crafting trend or some sort of like fashion-y related trend emerging, and people were talking about it. So there you go. I don't have any positive things to say about the backstory, so I'm gonna move on. One of the good things that I did see was Vogue Business created a whole outline of sustainable fashion events that are happening. Now, I was actually quite surprised to see this article because of how Vogue recently swallowed Teen Vogue whole in its operation, so I didn't really expect any sustainable fashion related content. But then they came out with this. It is blocked by a paywall. This was not here beforehand. Oh my golly. Did I speak too soon? But what I have noticed is that the person that always writes about sustainable fashion in Vogue, her name is Bella Webb. She has been doing this work for a couple years now. I used to follow her on Instagram, but I unfollowed a lot of people, so... Yes, I don't know her backstory, but she has been the staple sustainable fashion writer for Vogue. So if you're curious where that's coming from, it's usually her. It is usually her. So I actually really wanted to see what events they were talking about. Is it on Yahoo? Oh, what's this? There's also Conscious Fashion Collection. The founder's actually based in Chicago, and she was really supportive of the Sustainable Fashion Week that happened in Chicago. So she always knows what's up. Okay, so the Tex World New York, that is actually happening today until the 22nd. Oh, the largest East Coast textile and apparel sourcing event featuring over 200, move it, 200 exhibitors showcasing fabrics, trims, and accessories with a dedicated focus area for more responsible material alternatives. Wow. How much is it? Oh, free registration. New York, New York. Target audience brands, designers, textile buyers, manufacturers, fabric sourcing professionals, and fashion industry decision makers. A textile and apparel sourcing event? I wonder what that entails. You're just going to talk about fabrics and how they source them? Interesting. It's like supply chain for fashion nerds. Interesting, interesting. Okay. And then we have Sustainable Fashion Week, Chicago. That's happening April 17th through the 26th. So that's a whole week of events. I did participate last year. I went to their first Sustainable Fashion Week runway show. It was outside. It was really hot. I got burned alive, but I will do anything for sustainable fashion in Chicago. I did film it. I thought I lost the footage, but I found it in one of my camera memory storage things. So I may make a YouTube video about it for this Sunday. But I was thinking about doing a blueberry dye video. I have a bunch of white clothing that I wanted to dye with blueberries. So either ways, I'll decide for what I'll upload on Sunday. But I didn't really film it like in a vlog style. It was just clips of me trying to get there, me being dehydrated, trying to get there, me arriving and dying in the sun, me filming the show. But I got all the show, like the entire show filmed. And it's really good quality because it was on my Canon camera. So I may upload it actually instead of the blueberry stuff. But yeah, that was last April. That's crazy. And it's happening again in 3 months. Time just flies by. Maybe the button girl is onto something. I want butterflies though, but like fake butterflies. I do have fake butterflies. I can just put them up in my wall or something. Maybe that's a good idea. Buy 365 shiny butterfly images and put them on my wall. And then there's a Textile Recycling Expo USA. That's in North Carolina. That happens April 29th to the 30th. It's a specialized trade show focusing on textile recycling, tech, circular economy solutions, and waste reduction strategies. Ooh. Free registration. I actually am interested in this one. I would like to know what their textile recycling and tech is, especially because if I want to have my own thrift store in the future, I do need a textile recycling option if I am to sell it or give it away or manage it effectively so it doesn't end up in the landfill or in the global south. So I know a bit about it. Like I know the major textile recycling companies in Chicago that are currently working with the thrift stores in the area because I had to deal with them in a couple of jobs. But they don't really pay a lot per pound of clothing because typically what happens at thrift stores or any place that receives donations and there's excess of it and you want to get rid of it, basically you sell it off to a textile recycling company. They have staff workers that come in a big pickup truck. They are paid trash and their whole job is to put all these garbage bags into the pickup truck And then later on, once they finish their grueling route in many cities, they then weigh it. How do they keep track of everything? I have no fucking clue, but I guess they weigh it somehow, and then they pay you per pound of the stuff that you gave them, and it's usually pennies. Like, they used to pay more per penny. It used to be like $1 or something per pound. So if you donated like 10 bags and each bag averaged like 3 pounds or whatever, I don't remember how much they averaged for, you could get a good amount of money from just giving away your unwanted donations to the textile recycling company. But then they reduced it down to like, what was it, 10 cents or something? So imagine going from $1 per pound to 10 cents. You're not making any money from this business, but textile recycling companies don't have a lot of competition, and they got really greedy, especially here in the Chicagoland area, and especially in my home city. So I do think in the future, if I ever become established in my own businesses and my own like thrift store, I would want to start a textile recycling company that exclusively tries to like upcycle the items so they never get reintroduced into like the global south or anywhere else, just because like it's like stuff you don't really want. It's basic shirts with stains, it's fast fashion or really junky items that people throw away. Like, if we're getting rid of it as a thrift store or like whatever location we're at, if we're trying to get rid of it, like there's a reason why we're trying to get rid of it. So I do think that the best route is to upcycle it or like make it into something else. So if there's technology that makes this whole process easier or more efficient or more competitive, I would love to understand that. It's not in my scope to go to this, but I do want to bookmark this so that in the future I can attend once I have the means to do it. But yeah, that's like a big goal. A big goal. Like when I'm in my 40s or something. But I know the ins and out of it. But just to get into the basics, yeah, there is very little competition for textile recycling companies, and I think I would be able to give them a run for their money if I gave them some competition to deal with, because like thrift stores deserve to be paid fairly for the things that they're donating or providing. No, selling. They're selling their donations to this textile recycling company. They have just too much shit. Just too much shit. Okay. And they come weekly too, just to add on to this. Textile recycling companies go weekly to sites. Oh my god. I don't know what's happening to my throat. They're going weekly to sites and picking up a lot of stuff all the time. And if they don't have any competition, obviously, they're like eating up the money in their bank accounts. Alright. I think I've said enough. Innovation Forum, Sustainable Apparel and Textile Conference USA. This is also New York, New York. Oh, to be rich and to be in New York. Happening June 3rd through the 4th. Okay. The conference brings together 230 apparel and textile leaders that are recognized for their sustainability efforts, blah, 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 blah. And the conference will focus on practical steps to build a resilient value chain from worker empowerment to decarbonization. There will be honest discussions, real world case studies, and tangible takeaways. If I can read today, I will. Honest discussions on real world case studies and tangible takeaways. Sounds good. $900? No, thank you. Up to $2,500. Bro, I will continue to live stream. No worries. You can get the information free here. I am having an honest discussion. Free. Free 99. Also, I do share everything for free. Like, all my information, everything I know, I just share it. I need to start charging $900. What the hell am I doing? I'm doing something wrong. Oh my god. Oh no. Why not me? I need to email them so next year I can be on this forum and maybe they'll pay me money. so I can just yap and yap exactly what I do here on stream for free. Oh my gosh. I can be part of the 230 people. Anyone can be part of the 230 people. Like, what makes you a leader? I'm a leader. I said so. Oh my goodness. $900 is so inaccessible. Who's showing up? Sustainability leaders, global manufacturers, procurement teams, supply chain managers, and policymakers. And people that care, maybe, that need money saved? What about them? No? Okay. AAFA Traceability and Sustainability Conference. This will happen July 8th through the 9th. It'll be in Denver, Colorado. Hosted by American Apparel. Okay. Alright. Am I blocking it with my freaking face? Let me... Okay, here. Hosted by American Apparel. We're on a good start right here. Sustainability Conference. Sustainability Conference led by American Apparel. Wow. I need to start singing or I'm going to crash out. The conference will focus on supply chain transparency. Oh yes, fast fashion. They sure do know how to manage supply chain transparency. And fast fashion sure knows a lot about traceability. And they sure do know a lot about sustainability compliance. Oh yes. Perfect people to be talking about this. Isn't my sarcasm just so obvious? And the starting ticket price is just $1,099 for members. And if you're not a member, it's almost $2,000. So please save $100 with early bird tickets. Good up until May 27th. Who the fuck will show up to this? Who's going to this? Oh, my golly. Oh my golly. Okay, so Portland Fashion Week. Well, that will be in Portland, Oregon, happening September 14th until the 20th. And it will celebrate the 25th year of this fashion week that is internationally recognized for its sustainability. And it is proudly cruelty-free, plastic-free, and has invested in carbon mitigation projects. So that's $20 up to $350. Nice. Also, I do need to pull up my Twitch chat on my PC because my phone is refusing to charge. Ruby says, hey, hello. I'm so sorry I missed your chat. But I'm glad you're here. My phone has died. I need another extension because the one I had, I ripped it off of the other extension it was connected to because it was not working. But I think it was already broke and then I just ripped it off. So yes, I'm a strong girl. I'm a strong girl. Even though I am vegetarian / vegan. I'm vegan most of the time. Drink oat milk. So don't believe the whole milk propaganda. The oat milk girl pulled off the extension so hard it ripped off one of the metal things in it. Okay, let's see. Allow. I'm trying to charge my phone. Give me 1 second, people. Come on. Alright. And because I don't have that extension, I'm trying to charge it with my PC thingy. Of like my closet organizer. And now everything is in bags of storage. They're like huge bag storages. Storage bags? Yeah, storage bags. Oh my god, I flipped that around in my head. What the heck? But now I have 10 huge storage bags in my room. The goal is to get rid of all of it. I don't really wear most of it. Like if I was to condense down my closet, it'd only be like 3 storage bags. So from the 10 that I have, I need to get rid of 7 of them. Maximum or minimum. Maximum. Yeah, 7. 2 to 3, yeah, I use. So 7. I'll try to get rid of 7. It's just, it's gorgeous items. And I've spent my money on it. Is my phone charging? Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, it seems like it's charging. Right. But yeah, 5 hours of cleaning my room. It was actually very, very laborious. I almost didn't go on stream because of it. My back was hurting from all the strain. There's a lot of dirt. But now it's very clean. You can't see it because it's blocked off with the camera angle. But back there, right over there, it was a dang mess. It was a mess. Someone followed me on Twitch. Thank you so much, whoever it was. It didn't give me a notification. I'll work on that. I'll work on it. Okay, so we were at the Portland Fashion Week. Portland Fashion Week, $30 to $350. I actually really am interested in going to the Portland Fashion Week. I want to go to sustainable fashion weeks. That's really fun. I've heard a lot of the Textile Exchange Conference. This one happens in Canada in October. It's a bit pricey. It's around $300 up to $2,000. Very nice. Very interesting. Just a slim $2,000. Don't worry about it, guys. Just a slim 2K. You care about sustainability, you pay that slim 2K. I'm being sarcastic because it just kind of like irks me. The prices are so high. Even if I did want to go $300 minimum, it's a bit pricey. It's not accessible whatsoever. And then there's the Sustainable Fashion Forum that also happens in Portland, Oregon. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of things happening in Portland, Oregon. It's happening October 28th to the 30th. Okay. Wait, is my stream lagging? Or what's going on? Oh, okay. Never mind. Something was internally just lagging on my part. Okay, Sustainable Fashion Week, Portland, Oregon, dates October 28th through the 30th. It will remain focused on consumer behavior and psychology and what it means for the sustainability conversations. So they'll explore emotion, identity, and culture. How emotions, identity, and culture shape action. So the attendees can leave with a playbook for moving beyond awareness and into wider adoption. The starting price point is $800. So if you have $800 and want to go to Portland, Oregon from October 28th through the 30th, feel free to go. I've heard a lot about this. I've actually really wanted to go. The founder is actually really passionate. I've been following her on social media for quite a while, but the price for me is clearly a no. But for anyone that attends, I'm sure it'll be a great time and very informative. There's the Functional Fabric Fair that also happens in Portland, Oregon. It runs from the 26th to the 28th, and it's a trade show. It will feature technical and performance fabrics with some exhibitors focused on more sustainable manufacturing practices and innovative material solutions. It is free. And then there's the Moda Universe Fashion Week that happens in Colombia, held in April 2025. And this is a fashion week that celebrates Latin American design with an emphasis on cultural heritage and sustainable practices. And they didn't specify the prices in there. But there's also stuff happening in Europe. There's a Drapers Conscious Fashion Summit happening in London, March 11th. It ranges from 159 euros to 2,499 euros to bring UK fashion industries together to discuss developments in fashion, especially sustainability. And then the Innovation Forum Sustainable Apparel and Textile Conference in the Netherlands will be happening April 29th through the 30th. Also very expensive. Starting price is around 900 euros to up to 2k euros. I'm not really going to be reading what this is about, but as you can see, the prices are actually really quite high. But if you're into that, go ahead. I've also heard a lot about Global Fashion Summit. It's actually a really popular one in the sustainable fashion field. It's in Copenhagen, Denmark. A lot of influencers are invited to that. It's like I don't know, it's like the official place that you go to say that you care about sustainability, you know? especially if you're an influencer. You need the photo op, you need the YouTube video, stuff like that. So Denmark Global Fashion Summit is like a marker for a lot of influencers, but I don't really get the hype. Like, I've never really seen a workshop from it. I have never seen an influencer really talk about what they learn. And that's the real shame about these conferences. Like, if you do attend, like, how do you disseminate the information to a wider audience, and how do you make this more part of the mainstream culture that we all live in as a society? So when I see these insular sort of conferences and workshops and locations that are just really pricey to go to in these foreign countries, it just kind of makes me wary of wanting to support, because it's like, what does this mean for like the everyday person, the working class person that cares about sustainability but yet doesn't have the funds to attend? So I'm not seeing this as like intentionally wanting to be mean or harmful or like just iffy about it. Like, I would love to be happy about what I'm seeing here. It's just everything is expensive, everything is hidden behind paywalls, and only the best quote unquote leaders and experts go to these places. So if no one else is attending this, what is the point? Like, I know these leaders and experts are connected to a lot of other people, maybe working under them, or they have connections that can help them expand what they learned. But like, when is the normal person going to attend? Especially if they're working class and are living check to check, which is a reality for a lot of people, not just in the United States, but everywhere else. So when is there going to be an affordable option that's accessible to the normal person? Tell me. These prices are very disappointing, says Marissa in the comments. I hope they offer scholarships because sustainability impacts us all. Yes, especially those that are low income and from BIPOC communities. They are the ones most impacted by environmental racism and issues around sustainability. For example, in my home city right now, they're talking about creating AI data centers, and they're calling it tech centers, and they're pushing this propaganda of AI by saying, oh, they create jobs and it'll be helpful for the community. But history has shown that environmental racism extracts and oppresses the most vulnerable. So when you have these conferences, when you have these meetings, I think you're actually talking to the most privileged leaders that are not suffering from the issues themselves. Like, they're not suffering from environmental racism, they're not suffering from garment worker exploitation, like, they're not really suffering from oppression. Like, this is a generalization, it's an assumption of what a lot of leaders and experts are going through. Maybe they have experienced difficulties and struggles, but I feel like the majority of them haven't. And I really do want to break down the reports of like who's actually attending, knowing their stories, so I don't have to continue doing these like generalizations. But my assumption is, based on the price, based on like the target audience, it's just leaders. It's just people with power that are in decision making seats, and that's it. This is all they cater to. But yeah, like, sustainability is a real issue, and I think more real people should be at the table, or at least in the building, and allow them to be part of the conversation. And the thing is, for me, I've always been very hard on the term expert/leader. What justifies one person to be an expert in sustainability versus the other? Is it because of your job role? Is it because of your experiences? Is it because of your privilege? Is it because of your money? Like, what makes you a leader/expert in sustainability, especially in sustainable fashion? I think anyone can consider themselves a leader in sustainability if they've tried to live their life sustainably, you know? So I think we're all, in a way, deserving to be at the leadership table. A lot of people are not going to agree with me, obviously, for a lot of reasons. But I don't really feel like we need more leaders talking to each other with each other. Like, I think we need to be out in the streets talking to normal people who are not busying themselves. Oh god, I'm trying not to be mean. I don't think we need leaders talking to leaders, busying themselves, saying that they're leaders to do something. Like, Go talk to people. That's it. Just go talk to people and inspire them to do something. That's why I literally left a global movement on slow fashion to be live streaming, because that's what I did. I was on the board of a global slow fashion movement. And you know what I did instead? Live streaming, because I believed it would be more impactful than talking in insular leadership groups. I've never said that before, but it's true. I was the communications board member. And I said, bye-bye. This is not working out. I'm sorry. And I was in that movement for like 5 years. I tried so hard. But I recognize that live streaming and like concentration and like generally just being a human is more impactful than like holding on to these roles that just are not doing anything for anyone in the long run. Especially for normal people that care. Okay, so there's a Sustainable Fashion Week UK. So it's going to be based in cities across the UK. So it's going to be happening September 27th until October 5th. And it's going to be a nationwide celebration of sustainable fashion. There's going to be events, exhibitions, talks, and workshops. I have heard of this. I'm a huge fan of this. I actually came across this like 4 or 5 years ago, I believe. They've been at it. It's amazing. And I feel like they have inspired a lot of the Sustainable Fashion Week US stuff. I saw a lot of similar things in Chicago that they originally came up with. So yes, they are a real leader, and it's very local. Like they do little hubs sort of things in cities across the UK. So definitely a strong effort on their part, and very inspirational. And it's like normal people. It's like designers, stylists, anyone that wants to volunteer, who wants to take up some responsibility in their city to do something, they take it up for that week. So very cool. And then there's a Europe Sustainable Fashion Summit. This is in Amsterdam, Netherlands. Happens November 4th to the 5th. It's a summit. And then there is the Dutch Sustainable Fashion Week. I haven't heard of this, but last year it took place in October. Interesting. Okay, so that is cool. There's nothing else here, so I'm going to move on. But that is listed on Conscious Fashion Collective. An amazing organization. She used to be a vlogger. I said blogger. And then she created this site, and now it's a collective for like sustainable fashion people. And there's a lot of resources. And she's based in Chicago. I've seen her in the fashion weeks. I think she knows me, but she's just really shy. And I haven't gone up to her because I don't feel worthy. I guess we're both shy. But I feel like I have a lot of imposter syndrome, so I haven't gone up to her. But she's cool. She's like really informed and really great at what she does. Okay. All right. So we're going to look at this. So it says Transforming Fashion World. Wait, is that the title? Transforming Fashion World? Yes. Transforming Fashion World. ASU FIDM hosts conference on eco-friendly sustainable future. This was covered by Los Angeles Downtown News. So it says fashion leaders, designers, and sustainability innovators from around the world visited ASU FIDM this fall for the Responsible Fashion Series, an international conference exploring how tech, design, and indigenous knowledge can transform the fashion system towards a more ethical and sustainable future. Yes! It's been in other locations, but this year it was in LA. They chose this fashion school, and they got together. It's such a great place to get together. LA is marked by garment centers where real people are making our real clothes. So very, very important garment district in the United States. And the two-day city event included talks on the intersection of circular design, legislation, biomaterials, AI, and responsible innovation. What the heck did they talk about for AI? Uh-oh. There was a speaker that included Academy Award nominated costume designer Deborah. Deborah or Deborah? Oops. Deborah Landels of the University of California. And then there's author and responsible fashion series founder Ian King. I don't know who he is. I don't. ASU FIDM associate professor who has won awards under sustainable designs. I have not heard of this event. Very interesting. The presenters visited classrooms. Oh, nice. See, that's the thing. Like, sustainable fashion conversations are happening more in colleges, which was one of my predictions for this new year. So this is great. Hopefully they get a more personal experience what it means to like practice sustainable fashion, especially if there's like no real curriculum on sustainable fashion yet in their school. I'm not sure if they do or not, but it's a good start at the very least. And then Alejandra Ponce, which is a fashion merchandising student, says that this week was my favorite presenter so far. I loved talking with Anik after class and discussing fashion with her. I cannot understate how important the Antwerp 6 are to me and how they have inspired me. I am glad that I was able to attend this lecture. Interesting. Fashion student Kev Ortiz says, before this talk, I only considered major fashion cities like Paris, Milan, and New York to be at the center of the fashion world, Ortiz said. Learning about Antwerp's rise as a city of fashion revealed to me that new ideas can emerge from unexpected places when creativity is supported, even in limited resource environments. I think the myth of fashion will always be placed in Paris, Milan, and New York. I mean, that's what I believed and in a way still believe. It's the myth. It's the myth of the fashion designer, of the fashion lover, of the fashion pursuer. But I think fashion can be created anywhere. And I think any place can be the hub of fashion, the center of fashion, if you want it to be. That's my perception at least. But yeah, fashion can happen anywhere. You can make it anywhere. I can just pop up. Just need a sewing machine, some creativity, and there you go. And also, what really makes a fashion city is it just because they have a lot of like fashion production there, like a lot of tailors and seamstresses and designers? Who knows? What defines a fashion city? What makes a fashion city a fashion city? I see a fashion city everywhere I go. That should be my motto. I see a fashion city no matter where I am. Alright, what else? No pictures in this article. My golly. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah blah. They had a good conversation. They reflected. They made plans to pursue further education. My golly, those student loans are going to be big. And I feel incredibly energized by this decision and grateful for advice given and the words of wisdom. Her presentation and her words had a huge impact on me. Nice. Yes. Yes, sir. Love to see it, but be wary of student loans. Okay. What's it called again? Responsible Fashion Series, an international conference. I have not heard of it. Do they have a social media? I'm actually going to Google them. Okay. My stomach hurts. What did I eat? Alright. Oh, what the hell? Wow. Poor live stream signal. What is happening? This was intense. 2 days of just conference after conference. There's a virtual reality VR and fashion design education, a competency framework for integrating bio design practices. Wow. I actually would have been very interested in attending that. Does this happen every year? I think so, but it's going to change the locations for next year. but it's typically hosted by the Arizona State University, and they just have different locations. It was free, but I do think it was for just students. Sadly enough, alright, they dashed my dreams right there when they said I need to be a indebted college student to learn about fashion. I get it, guys. I get it. You want my money. It's not gonna happen. Okay. Now, I do want to watch this video that I discovered about secondhand clothes and eco-friendly solutions to it. So, I'm gonna reject the cookies and we're gonna watch the video. Come on, video. Let's do this.
Every time I open my wardrobe, I wonder how many of these clothes do I actually need? Hello and welcome. I'm Sadhika Tiwari. And you're watching Eco India. The fashion industry contributes to 10% of global carbon emissions. From spinning, stitching, dyeing to transporting and finally ending up in the landfills, the clothes that we wear contribute to harming the planet in many different ways. So today, let's step into a world where our fashion does not have to come at the cost of the environment. And it might even inspire us to rethink our own closets. Buying new feels exciting, but how long before these clothes go out of trend, wear out, or we just get bored? As fast fashion picks pace, the gap between what we buy and what we responsibly discard is increasing. 80% of the clothes that we discard end up in landfills. But some people in Navi Mumbai are trying to change that. Let's see how.
It's a consumer paradise. Whether modern or traditional, these stores have something for everyone. Sejal Sachdeva from Mumbai loves browsing in her favorite boutiques. She buys at least 4 new garments a month.
I'm a mother as well as a business owner, and I have a need to buy clothes very often because I like my wardrobe to look fresh. My looks have to be different because school drop-off, pickups, work meetings. So I like to dress up accordingly.
What Sejal Sachdeva may not think about is where her discarded clothing goes. It ends up in landfills outside the city where it pollutes the environment. Across India, 7.8 million tons of textile waste are generated each year. Just like with other waste, much of it lands in an incinerator. The trend towards fast fashion means more and more clothing designs are copied and produced quickly in large quantities and cheap quality. So textile waste is likely to increase further.
The purchasing capacity has comprehensively increased in India. At the same time, the number of time one garment is owned in India or by a consumer has also decreased.
One way to reduce the mountain of textile waste would be to recycle it. But once clothes end up in landfill, together with household waste, they become dirty and stained and unsuitable for further processing. Then there's another problem.
These garments or these textiles are heavily blended. More than 50% post-consumer textile waste is blended, not made out of any pure one fabric, which is why it is very difficult to recycle, difficult to manage.
This textile recovery center in Navi Mumbai is looking to bring change. 200 kgs of old clothes arrive here every day. Special containers have been set up in nearly 150 residential communities, where residents can dispose of their old clothes separately from their household waste. Workers from various local organizations sort the clothes according to quality and material. There are clothes with tags and clothes without. The ones with tags are set aside for reuse. Those without tags but still with good quality fabric and color that probably haven't been used much are also reused. The upcycle pile is for denim, track pants, shirts, etc., that can be turned into another product. Downcycling is for a dress that maybe has a stain or something with a tear. Those items are separated for downcycling. The recovery facility began operations in October 2024, giving work to 80 women. They are employed by a non-profit that is a partner in the project. It was the Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation that set up the recovery center. It remains a key sponsor. We wanted any garment that reaches the center to enter a circular process, not a linear one. A circular process ensures that what comes here is used up completely, generating an economic industry in the process. In the upcycling department, processed textile waste is turned into bags, jewelry, stationery, and jackets. On the other hand, stretchable clothes like leggings and t-shirts are turned into table runners, bags, and soft toys. We make sure that we don't waste a single piece of clothing. We use up all the scraps as well, gathering them into balls and making different products with them. From individual threads to big clothing items, we use up everything. There is no concept of use and throw here. The recovery center is a success story for the city. Last year alone, 45 tons of old clothes were upcycled into new products. The center is not yet self-sustaining, but it's still a worthwhile project. The Textile Committee and Textile Ministry wanted to use this pilot to build a good system that could be replicated by other municipal corporations. I'm proud to say that there are many other city corporations that visit this center, like the Indore Corporation that visited us today. Even some from the Mumbai Municipal Corporation have come, and smaller local bodies too. A delegation from the Asian Development Bank was also here. The recovery center can't yet process all textile waste. Low-quality fabrics from the fast fashion industry in particular are a problem. That is the challenge, to find the right technique to be able to recycle them. Not enough research and development has been carried out yet. So we need to explore this in more detail. Waste management experts believe the textile industry itself should be held accountable. This is known as Extended Producer Responsibility, or EPR. India already has laws governing EPR for some types of waste, but not yet for textiles.
An EPR and a comprehensive EPR policy can secure not only sustainable manufacturing from the part of the brand owners or the manufacturers, but also sustainable designing to increase its longevity, its end of life.
An EPR policy could also require manufacturers to take back clothes and implement recycling schemes. Sejal Sachdeva doesn't yet have a container in her neighborhood. But more are due to be added soon. It would also help if consumers wore their clothes longer and replaced them less often. But that's another story.
Buying new clothes doesn't just cost you dearly, but also the planet. And which is why thrifting has become the new cool. Buying second-hand clothes feels like a responsible way to dress and also a great alternative to fast fashion. But just because these clothes...
Yeah, I want to expand a bit why I personally want to have my own thrift store. So I think it's a ethical and sustainable alternative to what we see in the world. We can't prevent fast fashion donations to come in if I am ever to have a thrift store, but my aim would be to at least make the prices accessible, because what we see now is a lot of vintage stores up the price on secondhand goods in the name of sustainability or in the name of caring for the planet, but it's just a profit driven because there's a trend that people want to buy secondhand. Vintage stores have their time and place, obviously, but I do think it's catered to those that are willing to spend more. And if you're willing to spend more, you have a bigger budget, maybe because you have more privilege or you have a good job or generational wealth, what have you. Like, they're just willing to spend more on secondhand. But for me, like, thrift stores are such a beautiful place to find really good items for cheap. Thrift stores have been getting more expensive because thrift store owners and whoever the executives are getting greedy. It's not the customer's fault. It's the executives and the board members and the owners that want to up the price. But I definitely do think that we need to remain conscientious that not all of us are able to pay more for secondhand items. Like, we go to a thrift store sometimes because we're low on money and we just need something, not because we care about anything that's really happening with the fashion world or in the planet. It's just a need. So my hopes is no matter who you are or how much money you have, at least you can come away with something beautiful at a good price. Like, honestly, I would never see myself pricing something over $10, whether it's a jacket or pants or shoes. Like, after $10, it's like, what makes it so special? And I can't justify charging someone like $25 for a coat if it's used and I got it for free. Like, that's just who I am. I'm inherently anti-capitalist, but you still have to survive in capitalism in some way. And that's why I've taken so long to want to, like, actually pursue my dreams, because I knew it was inherently tied to the capitalist system. But I just really enjoy the process of giving people something that they love. It's just, I need to survive. So as long as it's at a reasonable price, I think that's correct or ethical. And the best way to navigate this very twisted, chaotic world where there's just a lot of profit-driven incentives and greed. And I never want to fall into that. I also think that, like, garment workers need to be paid more fairly, but that's not something I have the power to do. If I ever was a thrift store owner, like, the only thing I could really do is pay my workers fairly. So right now, the minimum wage in where I am at in Illinois, it's like $15 an hour, but that's not a livable wage. So I really do wish that all business owners thought like me and considered, like, paying their workers like $20. But even $20 an hour is not even enough. Like, I was seeing that if you really want a comfortable, like, good life, it needs to be like $35 an hour that you have to earn to, like, have a good, like, comfortable life. But if I ever was to have my thrift store, like, I would want to pay them like around $20, $22 as just like a general store associate, not like a manager. And I know some managers at thrift stores here in Illinois only make like $19 an hour. I'm like, what the fuck? That's a lot of responsibility. That's a lot of responsibility for $19 an hour, and you can't even, like, survive. Like, even $20 is a struggle, especially if you work part-time. So yeah, that's a bit of more details of my hopes and dreams, especially as a basically anti-capitalist socialist trying to navigate this capitalistic world. Like, I can't destroy capitalism by myself. It's going to take years for things to change, especially with the current president. So I think I'm doing my best, and hopefully I can impact others positively in my efforts so that they can have a chance for a better life than anywhere else. Like, I just kind of love the idea that people would want to work. Wait, what? I heard a pounding. I think I have to go investigate, but just want to say I love the idea that I am possibly able to make someone have a better life because I care about paying them fairly and correctly. I heard some banging on the wall, so I'm going to go investigate, but let's play this video in the meanwhile.
Come at a really cheap cost. Should that absolve us of the guilt of overconsumption? Let's take a closer look at the rise of second-hand clothes in the world.
I want to get a black t-shirt. Nothing fancy, just 100% cotton because I want to wear it in summer. But I don't want to get it new. Not just because I'm on a budget, but also because I don't want to add to the mess.
To get my t-shirt, I came to this vintage shop, which didn't look like I expected it to.
Okay, it's very industrial chic in here.
You can really tell that secondhand has had a glow up.
There's so much style, makes me feel pretty basic.
Clara Metzger manages the shop. She unpacks 75 kilograms worth of clothing every day, but she can't resell all of it. Some has to go. This here won't go on the shelf. I read out that kind of thing because it's pure polyester. It has increased since Primark and SHEIN entered the market. I pick this stuff up and feel, yeah, it's pure trash. That's not only a problem for Clara. Liz Ricketts set up a foundation which picks up 20 tons of textile waste along Ghana's shores each week.
We cannot solve this fashion waste crisis if we do not get serious about the root cause, which is overproduction.
Studies say 10 to 30% of all clothes produced are never sold or worn. Although we're getting better at things like recycling, as we covered here, it's not enough because we keep making more stuff. When new collections drop every other week, it kind of defeats the point. Getting and processing the fibers we need for our clothes creates a huge amount of pollution. Anywhere from 2 to 10% of all greenhouse gases people produce, more than what comes from all the planes flying and ships sailing around the world. But there is a silver lining. By 2030, we could lower those emissions by 16%, simply by reselling and repairing what we already have in our closet. Luckily, more and more people are interested in resale. Clara's shop opened in 2018. Now there are 12 more from the same brand across Germany. And it's not just them. The entire industry is growing. It's happening all around Asia, Europe, and North America. Neil's company found that in 2024, the global second-hand market was worth $227 billion US.
It's slightly lower than Apple's product sales, but it's kind of in the same ballpark. So it's a really big number.
By now, second-hand is growing 2 to 3 times faster than the first-hand apparel market. One sector is moving particularly fast: online. In 2024, online transactions made up 88% of money spent in US resale. I did end up finding a black tee in the store.
Ooh, this one's funky.
But it was a little more than I wanted to spend. So I'm thinking, let's take the hunt digital. Online, there are a gazillion offers for pre-loved black tees. I can go to a platform like eBay or Vinted where I can get it directly from another customer. Or I can look on Sellpy or ThreadUp for the US, which are companies that buy it from someone else and resell it all themselves, taking care of sorting, listing, and shipping. And by now, some very familiar faces have entered the chat.
Retailers really wanted to get in on the act. They wanted a piece of this growth.
Lululemon, Zara, The North Face, even SHEIN has their own resale platform. And Sellpy, which sounds independent, is majority owned by H&M.
Sellpy even gives me the stats on how many emissions and water I save if I grab this shirt instead of a new one.
I can get the good feeling of keeping gear going and contribute to a better world to explore.
Makes me feel like a hero for shopping.
But here's the catch. Some of these resale programs are quite bluntly linked to the brand's core business model, new apparel.
So I'm on Zalando pre-owned, so all of their secondhand stock. And boom, there's a sponsored post for new trainers. Not secondhand, just slid into the feed. And once I click on it, the recommendations below are also all new stock.
I am such a hero for buying secondhand. Wow. I'm a hero, guys. I am saving the world. No, girl, you're just doing the basic common sense thing. Also, update, there was some banging on the walls. I think it's my older brother. If someone's here to kill me, I'm so sorry for caring about anti-capitalism. My ideals will die with me. I think it's my brother. Who knows though? Who knows? Also, they're just promoting online shopping at this point. What are we looking at? What are we looking at? This video is going on for a while, so I think we're good. I think we're good. You don't need to watch people shop online. It's okay. We all know how to do that. We can go in a browser and look things up. It's okay. You don't need a tutorial. We don't need a tutorial. Okay, so I'm gonna go on and move on to this. So I have discovered, and now you will discover, that there is a Gucci research lab. Okay? There is a research lab for Gucci. Wow, what a beautiful world it is. This was featured in Vogue Philippines, and they say that they are making materials where the future is made here. Something like that. Where materials of the future are made. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Future materials. They're creating it right there. My big fat face is right there. See? That's what it looks like. Okay. So, let's see about the details. So the Gucci setup is in a research center in Tuscan town of San Miniato. Some say it's the world's most famous tannery that are based there. Wait, what am I reading? Let's start from the beginning. Sorry, I got a little bit like freaked out with the banging. Still don't know what's going on. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, or it's just the wind. I don't know. My brother is gone. Okay, maybe it's him. All right, I'm over it. Okay, let's focus. Given the biggest share of fashion's carbon footprint comes from the production of materials, it makes sense that there's been so much innovation in this space in recent years, from mushroom leather to algae sequins. It's also why Gucci set up a research center in the Tuscan town of San Miniato, where some of the world's most famous tanneries are based, in 2024. So the center was created for the research, development, and testing of all our innovative materials. Marie Claire Devie says they are the chief sustainability and institutional affairs officer at Gucci's parent company, Kering, tells Vogue. So while a host of startups has cropped up and failed considering the challenges of scaling up innovative new materials, over the years, Gucci decided to bring its R&D, research and development, in-house to ensure that any innovations match the Italian fashion house's necessary specifications. We need to combine, of course, sustainability and superior technical performance to be sure that at the end of the day, it will be at the level expected for Gucci and in luxury. DeVoe says of the move to establish the brand's own research center. A key focus, leather, which is known for its large carbon footprint, with Gucci exploring more sustainable ways of producing animal leather as well as vegan alternatives. The ambition is to shape a tannery model of the future, capable of processing leather plus new materials, increasing quality, versatility, and also being more efficient, more sustainable, and more circular, DeVoe said. When you do that, you tackle climate change, water consumption, and water pollution. Interesting. There's the research center, very fancy. This is what they call the Gucci kitchen, when the concoctions for different materials of the future are developed. Huh. It's a very nice window they got there. Is it really the kitchen, or is it like the aesthetic model of the kitchen for the photo shoot? Where's the real kitchen at? Okay. Inside the research lab, which is based within Gucci's Marbella tannery, hundreds of leather samples hang from a conveyor belt in an assortment of colors, from classic black to zingy lime green. At any one time, scientists are testing numerous iterations of between 10 and 20 new materials, coming up with concoctions for different recipes. In a airy room nicknamed the quote-unquote kitchen, next door, various machines allow the team to assess how the materials respond to different finishing processes, from dyeing to embossing. Then there is an impressively high-tech climatic chamber, which tests how the samples will age over time by putting them under tropical conditions. Wow, they're full-on scientists. So before this center was officially established in 2024, it was in this lab that Demetria Gucci's vegan alternative to leather, launched in 2021, was conceived. Made from 75% plant-based materials, including responsibly sourced viscose, wood pulp, and non-GMO corn-based plants, Demetria, which was used as part of the brand's Horse Bite 1955 bag line in 2023, has a lower carbon and water footprint compared to traditional leather. If we want to reach all our climate targets, we need to have innovative raw materials, DeVal says. The way that Gucci was able to develop the innovation means you have the performance and the quality. Those words are really small. I need some glasses on top of my context. Where's the pictures? Right there. One of the metal-free leathers created by the lab. Metal-free leather? What does that mean? Metal-free. Yes, sir. I'm gonna pay thousands for that metal-free leather. Is that part of like the tannery process to have some metals in there? Okay, let's continue reading. Beyond the development of new materials, Gucci has been Gucci has been exploring ways to reduce waste in the leather production process as part as the scrapless initiative. While leather is typically cut at the end of the finishing process, the brand has been experimenting with cutting the hide earlier on, allowing any leftover material to be used as high-quality fertilizer. Wow, what the heck? Another pilot program involves using AI to detect defects in the hide, again to avoid waste. It's about how to be the most efficient as possible. Wow. Wowzy, wowza, wowza. I really needed a cough. Okay. Alright. Alongside its research lab, Gucci launched its Circular Hub in 2023, focusing on driving more sustainable and circular practices within the company. Projects to date include the brand's Denim Evolution fabric, which comprises 74% regeneratively grown fibers. Oh my god, all this nerdy stuff. Blah, 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 blah. It also has an internal marketplace that allows Tetsuak fabrics to be used by other brands. Very nice. And then their research center is an example for other brands on how to adapt and innovate in order to meet their sustainability targets. Very nice. Very cool. Very cool, very cool, very cool, very cool. Okay, so I do want to see the actual inside of it. You know, the actual inside. I wonder if there's any videos on this. If not, we're going to move on, but very interesting to know. Metal-free leather. Here we go, guys. Okay, let's see. Yaddy, 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 yaddy. Gucci granted 60 minutes rare access inside a factory near Florence. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. I don't think there's going to be anything here. Where is the inside of your research center? Tell me. Tell me all your secrets. Tell me what you hide when you're afraid to see the light. No, I'm kidding. Not really, though. Okay, let's see. Nope, I didn't see anything on YouTube. Bye-bye. See you later. Okay, moving on. We're going to be talking about the eBay Circular Fashion Fund, another very nerdy, interesting topic that a lot of people, especially millennials, are paying attention to. Many Gen Zers don't really care about this, but all I'm going to say is that eBay is giving people money. Yes, sir! eBay is giving people money if they care about circularity, which is basically another fancy word for sustainability in the fashion industry. So if you care about the planet and you do fashion stuff, they want to get you some money. And not only in the US, but in the UK. There you go. Gen Z language right there. And fun language at that, too. This just kind of shows that eBay knows what they're doing, wants to be like the legacy company that is funding the next leaders in sustainability. So let's take a look. It's going to be a quick coverage, but it's still important so that if you are interested in this, you're now informed. So, all right, 50K in funding. This can be you. Also, I'm just explaining this because I want to, not because it's sponsored. If they sponsored me to do this, I would have put hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored, hashtag they're giving me money to do this. But no, this is free. They're not giving me money. This is a free ad for you. So if you apply and they see you fit the requirements, they'll give you 50K in funding. This beautiful article with no photos will explain what they're looking for, what the conditions are. It's now open for applicants until March 8th. So here's the official website. It's called ebay.com/circular fashion fund. Yes, sir. So the top winner will get 300K, and it's basically for those that have like a business that's focused on advancing circular economies and just shaping the future of fashion. I was thinking about applying, but you have to have an actual registered business, and look at me with my little live stream. Does it look like they're gonna give me 50K when it's just a little thingy majigger with no registration anywhere? No. And then the final 8 finalists get 50K. So if you have a small registered business, need funding, and want mentoring, and even have the possibility to be the grand winner of 300K, this is for you. If you got a little brand, there you go. And they'll have the top 24 applicants shortlisted by March 20th. So things are moving along. And then the 8 finalists are selected by March 31st. So there you go. The Fashion Fund is for these startups and small businesses building solutions that help fashion become more circular, extending product life, keeping materials in use, and reducing waste. Maybe when I have my live stream or like brand be a registered LLC, I can one day apply to this, but not this year. So if you're listening and got a small business or startup, consider getting your bread. Get your money. Don't wait. There you go. Are you ready to revolutionize fashion? Say yes and apply. Okay, I'm done with those free ad. Free ad is over. No more eBay ad. Okay, so we're going to go to a fun topic. I'm going to cover a couple more things. I am feeling a bit anxious because I don't know what I just heard outside of my house, and my brother is missing, even though he left me a beautiful donut on the kitchen table. He must be wandering or cleaning up the snow outside, but I don't know. But we're going to cover this. Beautiful event. It's called Swap Your Swag. How LA clothing swaps help people find cute clothes and community. I've been dreaming about going to LA. I want to visit LA so bad. Oh shit, I just knocked something off my desk. No banging anymore. I'm not gonna bang. I'm gonna be cute and demure. But this article is by LA Public Press. It basically says that clothing swaps are becoming more popular for people seeking sustainability and always express their and ways to express their gender identity. Cannot read. Get me back to school. Enroll me into college again. Okay, so this is a photo of volunteers offering a shopping bag to a person participating in a clothing swap. How wholesome, how cute. So on Sunday, in a private home, actually, in Highland Park, people were in a clothing swap and they were able to grab a lot of great stuff. That doesn't look like a private home. Oh, in the backyard of a private home. That still doesn't look like a backyard. That looks like a store. But yeah, I guess you can do clothing swaps in your house, in your yard, in a store, whether it's sunny and warm. I love when the clothing swap has good music. I just get into flow state. Like, all my problems, all my stress just disappear. It's me and the clothing. It's just like anti-capitalism, and there's people just having fun, and the vibes are good. You don't have to deal with like tired out cashiers. It's just a good vibe. Oh, it's just a good vibe. Marissa says, I hope all is well over there, and he is just being nosy and having fun. Yeah, me too. I tried to go see. It was too cold. It's like 5 degrees out there, and I forgot my shoes, so I actually kind of didn't want to go out there. It was too cold. I was outside all day today. I was cleaning my room. There was so much trash. My cheek, if you don't see right here, I don't know if you can see, but it's like pink. It's pink because I burned my skin with the cold weather, the cold air. I didn't have any, cream on it. I didn't have any makeup on it. And I'm not used to going outside with nothing on my face, but all day I didn't have makeup on. And I didn't even put cream on, so I was just going out there with my raw face, and it was sweating. I was just sweating all day because I was like doing all this stuff, cleaning up, and it burned my cheek. So I don't want to go out there. I'm very delicate. I'm a delicate flower. My skin is like very transparent, like it's very delicate. So I'm trying to be funny, but I'm like serious at the same time. Okay. Ooh, someone says, that's such a trans thing to have at a clothing swap. Wait, what? What? Where? It says, a clothing swap helper said he helped people try on hats and answer questions, helping someone figure out the use of a oval-shaped pillow with loops on the side. Hayes explained that it could be placed on a seatbelt to relieve some pressure after top or bottom surgery. Oh, oval-shaped pillows with loops on the side. I didn't know that. Well, that was cool. That's such a trans thing to have at a clothing swap, they said, alluding to the greater purpose of the event and primary focus on giving queer and trans, black, indigenous, and people of color identifying folks a safe, fun, and supportive space to exchange clothes. Yes, I love that so much. I love that. I love it. I love it. This is what I live for. And the organizers of this clothing swap is called the Brown Sugar Collective, which is a group of friends planning events for the trans BIPOC community. It was the collective's third event with a New Year, New You vibe for people seeking to explore and affirm their gender identity. They say it's expensive to buy new clothes, he said. Why not just give people an opportunity to literally start the year off right? I agree. How beautiful. Beautiful. Let's check out their Instagram. Oh, they don't have a lot of followers, but I love the aesthetic. Follow. Yes, sir. Oh, I love this. Take me to LA right now. Take me right here, right now. Technically, I'm in the LGBTQA spectrum. I'm demisexual. I kind of don't like people, like guys most of the time, but I really need to like understand their thoughts before I actually like anyone or like form emotional connections. That's what demisexuality is. It's like you have to like connect intellect. Is that what it's called? No, right? No, it's called something else. It's like where you have to connect intellectually with someone before you can find them attractive. What's that called? Am I a fake person for not knowing what that's called? Oh, hey, am I saying the right thing? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Demisexual, experiencing romantic feelings and attraction only after developing a close emotional relationship, and not based on first impression, physical characteristics, etc. Yeah, okay, I'm right. What's the intellectual thing? Is it the same thing or a different thing? I should know this. I actually really don't pay attention to, like, people at all most of the time, though. Okay, let's see. Intellectual interest. Let's see. Oh, sapiosexuality. You have to have intellectual interest to form attraction towards them. A lot of people are not interesting to me because they don't have anything good to say. Like, their thoughts are half thought out. I'm like, your logic is not adding up, buddy. Cancelled. So yeah, I'm part of the LGBTQA community. There you go. The more you know. But I don't really, I don't know, I don't really feel like I need to be part of the community. I'm just doing my own thing. Like, I'm part of the community, it's just I don't really explicitly celebrate it. But I guess I belong there, right? Brown Sugar Karaoke Meetup? Ah, take me there. Meet the team. I'm obsessed. Nice. No transphobia. Queens and kings, yes. Centers empathy, listening, and curiosity. Speak from personal perspectives. Take space, give space. Don't be an asshole. I love it. I want to visit LA, and hopefully I can be able to go to one of their clothing shops. Yes, sir. Okay, we're going to move on. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, this is the biggest thing I wanted to cover. SHEIN is freaking partnering with high schools. What the hell are they doing in Miami high schools? Why? How? What the fuck? But I saw this in the Miami New Times, and it says, why is a Miami high school partnering with fast fashion giant SHEIN? Ooh, we can listen to the article. Yes, please. I've been stuttering all day. Come on. Come on. Fuck. It didn't work. Why did they rage bait me?
We bring you the stories that matter for free.
Why are you...
While
I
cover vital
oh.
news stories. Our passion
Okay, I shouldn't have pressed it so many times. One more.
also lies in highlighting and celebrating.
Oh, shit. You know what? I'll read it myself. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It was a short article either ways. Okay. So later this month, students at Barbara Gully Man Senior High will strut down a auditorium runway to showcase designs they created in their fashion marketing class. The show is meant to celebrate the young students' talents and craftsmanship. But behind the spotlight and oh my god, blah. But behind the spotlights and polyester is a partnership with a company that has been courted controversy in the past, ultra fast fashion giant SHEIN. So this retailer has been criticized for environmental damage, labor exploitation, and selling problematic items. But according to press releases from SHEIN, the company will support the showcase by providing clothes and accessories that complement and enhance the students' original designs. The grand prize winner is set to receive an all-expense-paid trip to SHEIN's Los Angeles headquarters, while other students will take home SHEIN gift cards. My god, what the fuck? Why? This is what keeps me up at night. The thing is, I feel like the reason why I struggle with humans and humanity is because it's a bunch of bullshit most of the time. What the fuck are these SHEIN executives doing? Yeah, we're gonna choose the top fashion students in this high school and convince them that fast fashion is like the greatest thing ever. And we're gonna give them gift cards. And we're gonna bring them to our headquarters. Bro, what are these people doing? These executives are weird. They're grooming these kids, basically. They're gonna make them the next fast fashion designers. Now, this opportunity for them may feel big because SHEIN is a big brand, but it's a fast fashion brand at the end of the day, and these are talented, smart kids that love fashion. And sometimes you just don't know better, don't realize like the impact that they have, this brand has. I fear I fear that they want these kids to believe that they're entering a world, a fashion world, where it's okay to support Shein. It's not. It's really not. Oh. They need to get them out of that high school right now. Why did that high school agree to this? Maybe the executives or like the what's the president? Is that what they're called? The principal. Yes, the principal of the high school just thought it was a very strategic business choice so that our students can get an opportunity that they otherwise wouldn't have. Why though? We don't need Shein. Does the principal know nothing about Shein? A moment of silence for what's going on in the world. Oh my god. High school students being groomed to be the next fast fashion students and leaders in the world. Nice. Nice. What a disappointing news to read today. Okay. Alright. So in the statement to New Times, Shein spokesperson Remy Campbell said that the company's relationship with the high school began in early 2024 when a student reached out to the brand. Oh my god, not the student reaching out to the brand. Why? Why would they do this? And invited it to speak to her school's newly formed fashion marketing class about the industry? Oh girl, what were you thinking? Campbell said the company immediately connected with the students and was inspired by their passion, creativity, and talent. So the partnership aligns with Shein's mission to make fashion accessible to all while providing try not to get pissed. By providing students with meaningful real-world exposure, resources, and mentorship opportunities. We're excited to continue partnering with the school and building on this momentum. Dr. Manuel Sanchez, the principal of Barbara Goldman High School, did not respond to emailed questions about New Times about why the school chose to partner with Shein and whether concerns about fast fashion, labor practices, or environmental impact were discussed during the planning process. He's a fucking doctor. Dude, what the hell? You should know better. And then a spokesperson for Miami-Dade County Schools did not respond. No one is responding, huh? No one is responding. Oh, this actually pisses me off so much. They did not respond for a request for comment about the school's district's involvement with the partnership. I wonder how much Shein paid them for this partnership. I think that's why they're not talking. Usually when someone doesn't want to talk, they're paid a lot of money. A lot of money. Shein's prime target market is Gen Z. It says Zheng Lu, a professor of fashion and apparel studies at the University of Delaware. She told Forbes, it may feel that having a partnership with a university may make them more appealing to their customers. Oh my god. Who's gonna actually find out about this partnership when they're on the site shopping Shein? Like, imagine the typical Gen Zer going on the Shein site. How the fuck will they know that they partnered with the Miami high school? That's not what they're up to. What's going on is they're grooming the kids to, like, support fast fashion. That's really what's happening. And the school, I think, got bought out. Like, what? Why else would they not be talking? And how did the student have the brilliant idea to be reaching out to, like, the Shein contacts? I think it was a family connection or someone she knew, because how do I know who to contact for Shein to come to my high school? You know? I need to understand how that happened. Does that student's family or network work in Shein as well? Like, what? I think there's a direct connection. I have an inkling a Nepo baby had a brilliant idea to bring Shein to her school. That's the assumption. I can't prove it though. But I have no idea how they could get in contact with a Shein person and actually bring them to the high school just like that. Easy peasy. And then create the partnership out of nowhere. So the following year, Shein announced that it would partner with the Fashion Institute of Design and Manufacturing in LA. Oh, I heard of this one. I forgot about it though. To give 12 students a $40,000 scholarship to the school. Whoever the fuck this person is doing the outreach for schools either is really talented or knows just a lot of kids. Which sounds really weird. Who is this person doing the outreach? We need to stop them. We need to stop them. Students like Lexi Silverstone were outraged over the partnership, calling the move hypocritical and shocking for one of the world's top sustainable fashion schools. Yeah. What was FIT thinking? They got bought out, man. They got bought out. Who cares about sustainability when you got money to be made? Isn't that what capitalism is for? Isn't it the American dream to make money? Who the fuck cares about the planet? Jeez. You're dumb if you care about the planet, you know? That's at least what everyone tells us. And then Lexi launched a petition to end the scholarship, which has since been signed by nearly 5,000 people. And then the school, in comparison, their total enrollment is notably less than 2,000 students. It's unclear whether the partnership is ongoing. I think I'm making a YouTube video about this, actually. Now that I think about it. Did I make a YouTube video about this? I remember discussing it. Don't tell me my past self actually supported a SHEIN partnership at a university. I don't want to villainize myself, but I remember I think I covered this in a video. I'm sorry if I'm sounding dumb right now, but I have a horrible memory. I will call myself a goldfish any day, anytime, but we all have to learn and grow as people. Let me cancel myself. I swear I made a video on this. Let me see. Oh my god, my past videos are just jack shit horrible. What the fudge? Oh yeah, I did make it. The SHEIN FIDM partnership, a controversial collaboration revealed? Question mark. What is my face doing? 2 years ago. So if you want to watch that, you can watch that. I'm not watching myself. It's 8 minutes. I think what I said was that it was an opportunity for low-income students, but we shouldn't support SHEIN. I think that was the basis of what I was saying. But don't dog on the students that actually accept the partnership. Because it's 40K. 40K is 40K, man. Times are rough. I'm looking up the document for this video so I can read off my main points instead of watching the video. Give me 1 second. See, I have a bad memory, but I was on to something. Let me get my face off of your screen. There you go. Okay. Let's see if I have the original script for the video so I can see what I was thinking back then 2 years ago. 2 years ago I was 26. SHEIN FIDM. Okay, found it. Yes, I save everything. Alright, so it says here. So I go on to say that this seems like a good opportunity for FIDM students, but is it? Because I know that the struggle of college is real. Students will always need more support in financing school, but does that justify the appeal of them applying and accepting the SHEIN scholarship? That's a good question. Oh yeah, I did say I had major concerns. So I said I have major concerns on what this partnership means in the broad scope of fast fashion and its role in academic spaces. SHEIN has consistently been at the forefront of fast fashion, paving the way forward with a cutthroat business model that produces cheap, trendy clothes at a rapid pace. They cut costs at every corner and find legal loopholes to reduce shipping costs, even being suspected of using Chinese forced labor. SHEIN has truly set the example of what is fast fashion. Clothing that is rapidly produced for mass consumption, made at low cost, leading to excessive resource consumption, pollution, and the depletion of natural resources. I was onto something. Damn. Alright, I was not that dumb. So it makes sense there was outrage for the partnership, since the partnership alludes to numerous social, environmental, and labor concerns in the industry. But doesn't the Institute know better when they seem aware of what is happening in the fashion industry? They even offered a course in its merchandising and marketing program in 2021 titled Sustainability and Social Responsibility, and they educated students there about the importance of ethical and eco-friendly practices in the industry. In addition, the university has previously shown a dedication to the advancement of sustainability in the fashion industry, housing an innovative materials collection on campus. So this was a room showcasing tech that included mycelium, recycled cassette tapes, and other biosynthetics that could help reverse the harmful effects mass clothing manufacturing can have on the environment. So this makes a partnership with SHEIN appear contradictory to the Institute's teachings and values. Students and community members argue that FIDM should align itself with a sustainable fashion brand, their sustainable fashion ethos that prioritizes sustainability and responsible practices. So Lexi was a student at the time of FIDM and also a sustainable fashion influencer, took it up to make that petition to urge your school to sever ties with SHEIN instead of working with them. So the petition signers attached their name in favor of FIDM to end the partnership with SHEIN and find a sustainable fashion company who will honor those 12 scholarships. However, the scholarship program does offer a comprehensive opportunity for young, aspiring designers that need the extra support in attending college. Again, college is very, very expensive. So if the current petition or the petition pressured FIDM to remove their affiliation with SHEIN without replacing the scholarship with a sustainable fashion brand, then the students would be worse off, right? That's the argument I presented. And this would take away an opportunity that would nonetheless give them insight and knowledge in how a major fashion brand operates. Also, I do want to say I wrote this without AI. All of this was my thoughts. And it makes me wonder if removing the scholarship created and provided by SHEIN would actually make a point. I personally am more in favor of having the program run its course for the sake of the students' education and have FIDM agree to not do this again and assert they are in favor of sustainable fashion. This would avoid unfair removal of student scholarships and ensure FIDM to do better the next time around. Okay, that was my argument. Protect the students, but have the university not do it again and promise to do better next time. In addition, I would avoid blaming individuals, so the students, from taking the hit of the petition or the I guess like the hate against SHEIN, because students are not at fault. They deserve support that they were promised, no matter what brand they're supporting. So they may not have. Oh wait, sorry. So I was saying that maybe the intention of the petition wasn't to harm the students, but it alludes to the privilege of calling for the end of resources without any realistic alternative plan. So for me, I'm always looking out for like the low income students. That's kind of like my point. Yeah, I still agree with these ideas. I still agree. Yeah. Oh, also, it also calls into question the whole institution and their role in society. And this goes with the high school as well. So like, what should a high school be teaching students? What is their responsibility to their students? What is a high school's role and responsibility to the world? Let's say if one course was teaching about fashion, then what are the values that they're giving? Are they aligned with an ethical future? Is it sustainable? Like, what are they trying to create, basically, is my question for institutions in general. What are they trying to create, especially when they have a climate crisis? But yeah, that was the main point of the video and what I still agree upon. Yay! That was it. Those are my points. If you want to watch the actual video, that's right there. My face looks weird, so I'm gonna click out. Bye bye. Miami High School, do better. What the fuck? Okay. Dude. I wouldn't click out. Oh, okay. So if you want to read this in your free time, thefashionlaw.com has won a lawsuit against China because there were some issues around their upcycled luxury bags. and Louis Vuitton won that case. So if you want to learn more about it, the link will be there, right here. But I'm gonna move on over to the Levi news. So they have a new program. It's called the Wear Longer Project. It is a nationwide education initiative that is meant for high school students to learn how to repair their items. And this magazine article is by Ethos. Great place to get some sustainable fashion news. But yeah, again, it's like, why are these brands targeting high schoolers? Gen Z, or like the new target audience for brands, or what's going on here? What is going on here? The brands are eating up the high schoolers. Okay, so let's get into it. Wait. Before I read another freaking article, what if someone actually had the good graces to make a video about this? Huh? What about that? What if someone actually cared enough to make a video about this so that the visual learners that hate to read freaking articles can learn about their beautiful program? Come on, please. Wear it longer. Nope. Let's see TikTok. I think this is the last thing we're going to cover, not going to lie. And then we're going to jump off. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, okay. I'm going to cover this really quickly, but Boss has a new sustainable yarn, and they featured it in the Australian Open. We'll see where that goes, but this is the clothing made from that yarn. And then if you want to learn about Coachtopia, which is like supposedly like sustainable fashion, you can read the take here, because a lot of influencers that care about sustainable fashion support Coachtopia, not from their like free will, but because they were paid to talk about it. There's a lot of Coachtopia ads from major sustainable fashion influencers supporting the products and like their events. I never really supported Coachtopia, to be totally honest with you. I thought it was like a scheme to get money from us, especially if you care about sustainability. So I didn't really support it, and this article is very aligned to like my beliefs of like being like, Coachtopia is kind of a scam. So if you want to read that, that's there if you want more details. But let's see, what does Levi have to say about their repair program? The program. Not program, the program. Alright. No one? Nothing? No one? Fine. I'll read it. So, Levi has launched a nationwide education initiative aimed at providing high school students with the practical skills needed to repair, alter, and extend the life of their clothing. An effort grounded in new research showing a disconnect between Gen Z's sustainability values and its hands-on repair knowledge. Yeah. Sadly enough, we often want to buy ourselves into the interests that we have. Every year... Sorry, I got distracted. Wait, can you see my screen? Yes, you can. Sorry, give me a second. There's a lag, but just give me a second, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Give me a second. Okay. So every year, millions of wearable garments end up in landfills, many taking centuries to decompose. By teaching repair, customization, and sustainable care, the Wear Longer project interrupts that cycle. Alexis Bichtlok, I don't know how to say their last name, Director of Community Affairs at Levi, says in a statement. Developing a partnership with Discovery Education, the Levi's Wear Longer project introduces students to foundational techniques such as sewing, patching, hemming, and customization through free, standard-aligned classroom resources and in-person workshops. The program targets grades 9 through 12 and is designed to integrate seamlessly into existing curricula rather than function as a standalone extracurricular. Oh, so they're going to teach it in the classes. How nice. Very cool. So Levi's research underpinning the initiative found that while Gen Z leads participation in thrifting and upcycling, 41% of respondents reported lacking basic clothing repair skills. That gap, the company argues, limits the real-world impact of circular fashion behavior that depend on durability and reuse. Yeah, I agree with this. I think Levi's program is actually really strategic and really helpful. I think I have an inherent basis of wanting to support Levi because it's a long-standing brand. They have a lot of vintage Levi's circulating across the world, and I have been one of its consumers. I have consumed vintage Levi's, and my mom would always pass down my older brother's Levi's down to me that were also secondhand at the time that it reached my older brother, and they were super secondhand by the time it reached me. So I grew up with Levi's. I think it's a super durable brand. Like the pants I wore, you could drag them in the ground. You could like play for hours in them for years and they would not break. They would not break. I test ran them brand for a long year. For a long year in the summer. And then we would cut them into shorts. So, and usually some of them would last me more than a year because after a certain point I stopped growing. So when I was like 12 or 13, I started to keep my shorts for a long time. So I always had the same Levi shorts. It's my favorite shorts. They're so comfortable. Like if you break into jeans, they're so comfortable. Like they move with you. It's the flow state with jeans. If you've actually broken into jeans, you'll know the feeling if you've ever experienced it. But let's see. The Wear Longer project. So the educational push arrives amid mounting concerns about textile waste in the United States. According to the data cited by Levi's, Americans discard an estimated 81.5 pounds of textiles per person each year. 81, almost 82 pounds each year? And I'm over here thinking, what do I get rid of? It took me 2 years to clean my closet. And I didn't even throw anything away. It was just like random papers. It was trash that I threw away. It wasn't like actual clothing. And I don't know what to get rid of. You know how long it's going to get rid of all my clothing I don't really wear? Probably another 2 years. I have so much clothing. I'm never gonna give it away. People actually dump their items in the dumpster. It's crazy. 82 pounds? That's like 10 garbage bags, isn't it? Damn. That's money right there. A pace that translates to more than 2,100 pounds of clothing waste entering landfills every second nationwide. Give me that damn thrift store right now. This is giving me anxiety. I need to save some stuff from that landfills. Oh my gosh. Also, just for context too, I think a lot of my lifestyle is really shaped by my upbringing. Like I had very frugal Mexican parents growing up, and I still do. They're still the same people. But we were basically taught to not throw away anything, to save everything, to mend it as much as possible. My mom raised us with very little money. My dad worked as a forklifter all his life, and the most he ever made was like 20K a year, but he was seasonal, so sometimes he only worked like 6-7 months. So at the most he would earn like $15,000 a year. And my mom didn't really receive any support from him. He mismanaged his money a lot of the times, and so she basically raised us with $0 in budget. But if she was to use money, it was with taxpayer money, the tax money they give us back every year. But she didn't really want to touch it because it was for food. So we learned to not have anything. So clothing was in a lot of ways a luxury. And we always went to thrift stores. We would always save our money. Every penny literally counted. If we had like a box of juice, that was a luxury. If we had cookies, that was a good day. So being raised in survivability, like in survival, and poverty and frugality and scrapping together resources to get one thing. It really taught me to appreciate every single thing I have in life. So like that's why it's so hard for me to get rid of stuff. Even today, like I was getting rid of my closet thing. I've had it for like 5 years and I utterly hated it, but I kept using it because again, that like mentality of like using what you have. Just I hated it. It took up too much space in my room. So I got rid of the thing, and then like the screws came off, and my mom really wanted them. She wanted the screws for whatever freaking reason. It's kind of like a hoarding issue after a certain point, but yeah, that's a different conversation to have. But I also learned mending from my mother as well. She learned how to embroider and mend and sew at a young age. She even took sewing classes and she passed all that information down to me. I was obsessed with fashion as a kid, so I learned everything she had to teach at a very early age. I learned how to sew at like 10 years old. And I learned how to embroider at like 11. And I would embroider all day, every day. I was obsessed. And I started sketching fashion design stuff at like 8. I was very young. And I would just play with my Barbies all day, every day. Like, I've always been obsessed with fashion. It's just life kind of took me away from it. But if I ever told people like my upbringing and like my obsession with fashion, they would be surprised because I've never really talked about it with anyone really. But also no one really cared to ask either, so it's not on me. But right now I'm gonna go back to this article and focus in on how the Wear Longer project focuses on garment longevity, an approach increasingly emphasized by environmental researchers as one of the most effective ways to reduce fashion's overall footprint. Extending the usable life of a single garment, even modestly, can significantly lower its cumulative environmental impact by reducing demand for new production. All right, cool. Yeah, I really love this program. So it's going to launch in San Francisco high schools. They're going to have workshops hosted at the Levi's Eureka Innovation Lab before expanding to classrooms across the United States and eventually international markets. So Levi employees will serve as volunteer mentors. Volunteer mentors? Are they going to be paid for their extra work or what? I don't like the word volunteer when it's employees taking this on. That's their recipe for disaster. Bringing hands-on instruction into schools and community settings as part of the rollout. As long as they're paying their workers to do this mentorship, I'm fine. It's just when you say volunteer mentors, that's free labor. On the condition that you remain at your job. Uh-oh. Red flag. Let's see, what else are they saying? They are also saying that the company has tested circular business models aimed at keeping garments in usage longer. These efforts include a trade-in program and compensates customers for worn denim, redirecting used products away from the landfill and back into resale or reuse streams. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Overall, I really love this. I mean, it works well with the classroom settings of high schools. Like, it gives the students practical skills and hopefully they apply them in the long run in their life. Like, I was really lucky. I had a mom that knew how to sew, how to embroider. So I wish that students also learn the beauty of using a needle and just fixing stuff. It's really just a thrill to like see something just get fixed. It was a dopamine hit for me, not gonna lie, when I was a kid. I didn't have a phone and I barely was able to watch TV, so it was fun for me. But I didn't have anything else to do. I only really had my first phone at like 18. I had an iPod before that. And there was never internet at home until I was like 17. So I was not on my phone. And the first time I had social media, I was like in my 20s, basically. So I haven't been on the internet at all whatsoever compared to people my age. Alright. Alright. I think that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoy this live stream. I'm gonna go investigate if someone is intruding in my house or if it's just my overactive older brother. I cannot talk today. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed it, thank you. Thank you so much for enjoying it. But yeah, I really do need to go see what's going on. There is some banging, some clattering, but I'm also just tired because I spent 5 hours cleaning my room. But I will be live again tomorrow at 5. I'm going to be working on my disco dress. I'm going to upcycle some CDs, make it into a beautiful dress inspired by one that was worn by Audrey Hepburn. So yes, 5 p.m. Central Time. I'll see you there if you do come. And as always, thank you so much for listening to my stuttering and to the news. Hopefully you learned something. And if you want to stay more informed about what's going on, just stay tuned for the fashion news streams. But until next time, see you later. Bye. Bye-bye. See you later. Bye-bye.